Carnivore Hunters. We're up at our hunting camp. Opening days until Saturday morning. We have a couple days to just goof around. So today we thought we were gonna sharpen our blades, and we thought we'd share that with you guys. We have 3 different sharpeners here. We're only going to demonstrate 2 because one of them is handheld and it's just not convenient. This is a set I've had for years and I used it for years. And the thing I did not like about this is Gatco. It's similar to a Lansky, but one of the things I did not like is when you had a more shallow angle, your sharpening stone would hit on the blade holder, and it was always very frustrating to me. And so I finally decided a few years back to upgrade. So what I'm using now, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this correctly, it's Ruxin Pro, I believe, and I really like this. It does a much better job. It's easier to use, and it comes in a nice case where you can see this comes in a cheap plastic case, and I've had to duct tape it over the years and just to keep it together. And then Doug,
and yeah, I just picked up this Worksharp. It's a Precision Adjust Elite. It's actually a new one. I am fairly new to sharpening my own knives, so he's kind of been walking me through the process here.
Yeah, and so you can see both of these are very similar. The difference between these 2 is mine clamps to a table, so you have some good stability, but you have to make sure everything's tight.
Yeah, this one just kind of sits on top of the table, but it does seem to be a little bit more user-friendly, especially if you're a beginner like me. It actually gives you, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but gives you the angle measurements there. So you always know exactly what you're going for. As far as how.
And that is a great feature, having the angles on there for you. Mine has nothing, and I can't take it off and show you. I have it clamped to the table. But basically I have a thumb screw right here, and I just have to keep adjusting until I find the right angle. I keep it right here because most of my knives are going to wind up right here. So a little trick I like to do is I will take a Sharpie, and let's just use this one as an example. Right on the edge that you want to take off, you're going to mark it with a Sharpie, and so I don't know if you can see that, but I just marked the edge where we're going to take it off. And what that'll do for you is when you get your sharpening stone in here and you make a few passes over your blade, it should take that Sharpie right off. If there's Sharpie left on there, then you need to adjust the angle until you're knocking off that Sharpie, and then you've got a good angle.
Yeah, that's especially handy if you're trying to keep the angle that the knife had from the factory.
Yeah,
if you're changing it, the Sharpie thing doesn't really help you. But if you don't know what angle you're at, then that's a good way to help you figure it out.
Yeah. And so yeah, if you do want to reprofile a knife, you're gonna start with a smaller grit. This one goes all the way down to 120, I believe, on up to 1,000. The Ruxin, and so I love having that variability. I don't spend a lot of time reprofiling knives. I just keep the angle that's on there. So I stick to the more medium and higher, what I'd call it, grain, and that usually does the trick for me.
Yeah, with this one, this is the again Precision Elite. It was like an elite upgrade package. So this does have a bit more grit, and so each of them actually kind of rotates on here. You start with the 220, and then it has also 320 and then 400 on this one, and then you have a couple of an extra one here where you can get, you know, 600, 800, and then your ceramic, and then it also came with the leather strap as well for when you're finishing honing.
Which is awesome. Mine did not come with a leather strap, so I'm going to be borrowing his to finish up my knife. Let's discuss some technique really quick. There's a lot of I've watched quite a few YouTube videos on how to sharpen your knives, and there's a lot of debate out there. So I'm not going to say which one's the best and which one's the worst. But if you are reprofiling a knife, or you just have a knife that's super dull, it's okay to go back and forth. You can do that when just to knock that edge down to where you almost want to be for your sharpness. Then once you get that down and you move into your higher grits, my preference is to do a sweeping and pushing motion at the same time. So I'll just take my stone and just push and push up at the same time, sweep and push up at the same time. And it works with me. When I'm done with the knife, I can usually take some hair off my arm. So that it works really well for me. Right. Oh, another great feature about these that's an advantage over the Gatco or the Lanskis. When you go to flip your knife, you have to undo your thumb screw on your blade holder and turn your knife around. Where here, all you got to do is, on mine, you have to pull this out and it flips. And then you can go to work on the other side.
And with the work sharp, you just kind of push in from the back, and same thing, it'll allow you to flip it over, and then it'll lock back into place on the other side, and then you can just continue on from there.
Yeah, and these the profile on the blade holder, your stone's never going to hit it like it does on your Lansky or your Gatco. So I don't know. I do like that his shows the angle, but other than his not clamping down and mine clamping down, they're essentially the same. I give both of them 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, Botho.
Gatco, it does the job. If you're in a pinch and you don't have something else, it'll get the job done. But I'd take the time to invest if you spend a lot of time sharpening your knives.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just nice to be able to do. It's a good skill to have. Again, it's one that I'm still in the process of learning, so I'm trying to pick that up. But
another technique, as you're sharpening your knife, the blade, you're not going to see it with your naked eye, but it's gonna fold the metal over, and so you'll actually, if you take your thumb like that, when you sharpen, say you're sharpening this side, if you take your thumb and go up, or even your fingernail, you can feel where it pushed the metal over. And so when you sharpen the one side and then you flip it, you can use the same grit, or you might want to take it down a grit to knock that off. And all this time, when you're trying to get that super sharp edge on there, you're going to be using a little bit of pressure on the blade. But when you get to honing your knife, you want to put a much lighter pressure on there. When you're using your say your 1000 grit and then your ceramic and your leather, you want to go a little bit lighter. And with the leather, I believe, I haven't used leather, but I think rather than pushing, you actually do want to pull with the leather. So just some other tips there, guys.
All right, well, I think we're going to finish up here, but thanks for tuning in, guys. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll have some great content coming here again.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see you guys later.
All right, see ya.